Hello, good evening, and welcome to Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the power of influence. The power of influence. In one way or another, whether you know it or not, you are influencing somebody, just like somebody is influencing you. There is somebody that is looking up to you, that is copying the way you talk, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you walk, how you carry yourself, your mannerism and everything, just like you are doing the same after somebody else. And in whichever way you look at it, you are influencing somebody, either directly or indirectly, whether deliberately or just by default. You and I are influencing somebody just like somebody else is influencing you. For instance, if somebody asks you, who is your hero? Who do you look up to? Who is that one person that you model yourself after, even though you may not have ever met that person, even though that person may actually have been dead and gone for years and years ago? But somehow there is something about that person's life, about that person's journey, or their story that has played a major role or still playing a vital role in your livelihood, in how you see things, in how you process things, in how you carry yourself, in the goals that you set for yourself. In the same manner, there is somebody out there. There is a young man or a young woman. There is a boy or a girl. There is an old man or an old woman who is also looking at you and I, who is also just dreaming to be where you are and have what you have and do what you do and be able to effect and bring change to themselves and their environment, just like you and I are doing. So the ability to influence somebody or influence other people is inherent in all of us. Now, sometimes that could be good influence, and most of the time it's a bad one. But whichever one it is, you and I are influencing somebody. With that in mind, therefore, you need to pay special attention. You need to be careful. You need to be aware. You need to take cognizance of the fact that this is not just about you. This is not just about me. It's about somebody else out there whose life will be impacted, whose life will be touched, whose life will be changed for good or for bad, just because of the way you live your life. Having influence is big. Having influence is big. And the thing about influence is that you don't even have to be famous. You don't have to have a title. You don't even have to have a position. You don't even have to be a father or a mother or anything. You just need to be a human being and be a true human being. Be true to yourself. For as long as you do that, for as long as you are that, for as long as you carry yourself and you are honest and truthful to yourself, somebody is looking up to you. Somebody is being influenced. Somebody is being impacted. Somebody is being touched and changed because of you, because of your life, because of what you stand for, because of what you believe in, because of so many other things that you can factor into the equation. So having influence is a big thing. It must not and should not be taken for granted. It must not and should not be handled lightly and not in the with all the utmost importance that comes with it. Because influence allows you to have more income on the long run. It allows you to have more impact on yourself and others. It allows you to have a better life, and it helps you to feel like you have a purpose. There's a meaning to your life. Your life is counted, is influencing, is touching somebody, is affecting another generation. The mere thought of that should keep you on your toes, should challenge you and I every time you think, you say, you do anything. Just remember, There is somebody out there. There is somebody out there. There is a boy or a girl. There's a man or a woman. There is somebody out there whose life is being impacted by you. And that is nothing but influence. The challenge is that most of the time you don't even know. You're not clear. You cannot put your finger on where this influence is coming from. You cannot articulate clearly, precisely, where this influence, this ability to influence others, where it is coming from. Because most of us live our lives on remote control. We live our lives on speed dating. We live our lives on autopilot. But if you will be conscious and deliberate and be purposeful and be meaningful and reason with everything about you, about your life and the effect that it is having on others, then you will even be more influential than you already are. But whether you know where it's coming from or not, whether you are deliberately trying to influence people or not, whether you are you have actually been regarded and referred to as a person of influence, you need time, you need persistency, you need consistency, you need tenacity for you to be able to achieve the true meaning of influence. Because like I said, there is somebody that's been affected by your life. So if you are not consistent, if you are not persistent, if you are here today, gone tomorrow, if you are neither here nor there, guess what? You are also influencing somebody, either for good or for bad. So the question you and I need to ask ourselves are this. Are you confident in yourself? Are you organized in yourself? Does staying around you, hanging out with you, being with you, spending time with you, is it stressful or stressless? You know, some people, you spend half an hour with them and you have to spend the next half day trying to defrost and just get away the muckly they've left on you. And somebody, you spend a year with them and it's like it's just gone like that, because every day is a new thing. You're learning, you're growing, you're developing. Why? Because they have taken the time to develop confidence in themselves. They are organized, they are focused, there is a purpose to their lives. And that is why you can't have enough with such people. The second question is, knowing now that we all are influencing somebody, somehow, somewhere, how do you grow your circle of influence? How do you become more influential than you currently are? How do you grow and develop and extend and reach more people with your life, with your influence, with your impact? How do you do that? Because unless you are consistently continuing in growing and in developing, in expanding and enlightening yourself, you will become stagnant. And once you get stagnated, the next thing is to start to rot and decay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the reasons behind this platform called Become a Better Man. We are all aspiring, we are all on a journey, we are all on this journey of discovery to be better than we are, to be better than we think we could be. But you see, it takes pushing yourself, challenging yourself, exercising yourself, putting your back and your neck to it, and be consistent with it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you grow. And the more you grow, the more your influence will grow. I read from one of John Maxwell's books about the law of leadership, and he talked about the law of the lead. The lead, like the cover of a pot, and he says every organization, every entity will not rise beyond or above the person or the head of that organization. because that head becomes the lead that holds everybody down. So if you want to grow in your circle of influence, if you want to expand, all you have to do is to grow. All you have to do is to develop, increase. But you see, most of our experiences, most of our dealings, most of our encounters in life that we have had, I don't know about you, maybe I should talk about myself and for myself. Most of the experiences that we've had with people rather, who are supposedly in positions of authority and are supposed to be influencing us, most of their tactics has been either by intimidation or by cohesion, rather than leading and showing us by example. But you see, the funny thing is, when you influence people, when you manage people, when you control people, when you adopt intimidation and cohesion as your way of being somebody to be reckoned with, it may work, but it will only work for a very short time. After a while, people will rebel. After a while, people will vote with their feet. After a while, people will find others who can influence them and lead them to their expected destination, because they look at you and you ain't going in the same direction with them. But when you lead and you relate to people by genuine influence, oh, it lasts eternity. It will last forever. Whether you are alive or dead, whether you are around or not, people will still talk about you. They will still make references to you. They will still remember what you said to them, how you treated them, especially in their times of being down and out, how you reach down and pull them up rather than step on them and walk over them. Unfortunately, influence is a skill. And that skill is not something you learn in school. And in fact, most parents don't even know how to train or teach. We were not taught about how to influence. Because every time most of the time, I don't know of children of nowadays, in our days, every attempt to try and gain understanding from something your parents tells you, because I said so. Your parents will tell you, you just do as you are told, rather than for them to explain to you, so that by so doing you can get some understanding, not knowing that you will learn more, you will be more open to receive from them by influencing you through the explanation than by intimidating you through corporal punishment. But influence is a skill that can be learned. So what do you need to do? What can I do? What can we do to grow and develop and just master this skill of influence, of influencing people? And there's a book by Dale Carnegie, one of the all-time bestsellers, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. If you have not read that book, I highly, highly recommend it. How to Win Friends and Influence Others by Dale Carnegie. So how do you grow your influence? What can you do? What can we do to develop and increase our sphere of influence? Number one, you need to be clear on the outcome that you're expecting. You need to be clear on the outcome that you're expecting. It was Zig Ziglar that said, you can't hit a target that you cannot see. And you cannot see a target that you do not have. So if you don't have a target, you can't aim at it. And if you don't have a target, if you don't aim at a target, you can't hit that target. So the first law of cultivating influence, of developing your skill of influence, is to know exactly what you want the other person to do, to be, to have, to know. Know your why. Have a clear understanding of the expected outcome. Now, It may seem like, yeah, that's very obvious. But you see, it's not. Because if it's that obvious, most of us will have learned it. Most of us will know it. Most of us will abide by it. But the reality is, many of us just walk past it and walk all over it and walk right by it without even knowing or paying attention to it. For instance, especially in a relationship, say like a marriage relationship, or friendship, or colleagues, whatever relationship that you are involved in, have you ever found yourself complaining to your partner about their work pattern, the way they work too long, they stay too long in the office, they don't pay enough attention to you, or this and that? The issue is not about the hours of work they're doing, or the number of hours they're putting into the work. The truth is that is not the problem. The problem you have is that you feel they're not spending enough time with you. Now, if all you do is go about it, oh, you spend too much time in the office, are you the only one working? Why can't you? And they will think, I'm working so that we can have our bills paid and our needs met. What's your problem? It is because you are not able to make absolutely clear to them what you're expecting, what the outcome is supposed to be. But if you have just said to, look, Jim, I appreciate the work that you're doing and how much you're looking after this family, but I just want you to know that we, myself and the family, we need more of you around the house. We need you to spend some more time with us. Or if it's Janet, you want to say that to. It doesn't matter who is being addressed, but make your expectation, make the expected outcome clear. That way, the person you are dealing with knows exactly what you want, how you want it, when and where you want it, and they would then endeavor to deliver that. Every day we are influencing different things and different people. Some accidentally, some deliberately. Have you ever landed the promotion you want? You've got the raise. That increase in your salary is now in your bank account, and you've danced and rejoiced about it. But 6 weeks afterwards, you're just still back as miserable as you were. Because the issue is not the fact that you want the promotion or you want increase in salary. Your main issue is that you just need something that will give you more time to do other things. And you think if you become a supervisor or a team leader or a manager, that will release that time for you. But because all you said to the director or to the managing director or CEO is, I deserve a promotion and my salary needs to go up. They've given you that, but it's not answering the question. So in order for you to develop and grow your influence, you must be clear of what is your expected outcome. Number 2, learn the attitude of listening. Learn the skill of listening. Some years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, I did a whole program, I think 1 or 2 programs on the skill, the art of listening. And there's a difference between hearing and listening. In order for you to influence people, in order for you to have an impact and affect people, you must learn to give them your audience. It was Jane Goodall that said change happens by listening and then starting a dialogue with the people who are doing something you don't believe is right. You have to listen. Yes, you may have your opinion, you may have your idea, you may have your way of doing it, but it does not preclude you from still listening to another person's view. In fact, some people, even though they don't agree with your idea or your thought patterns or your line of thought, The fact that you've given them your audience, the fact that you've respected them and listened to them, they will also reciprocate by bending towards what you are asking for. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of influence. When you listen, it's not like you're going to barrage and run down the whole embankment like a runaway train. No, that's what children do. They will throw tantrum and scream and shout, and because they want something, and they think by making a chaos will give it to them. But as an adult, as a matured person, you don't need to do that. Just make your point and then listen to the other person's view. And sometimes the proof of your listening is not just in your ability to hear. The proof of your listening could be the type of question or questions, follow-up questions that you ask. It's the type of question that you ask, not to contradict what they've said, but to seek clarity. Like they've said something and you use an open-ended question like, see, okay, I hear what you're saying, but what can I do to help in this area? What do you expect of me? How would you like to be? And those questions are not challenging the thoughts and the views of the other person. They are questions that are just seeking clarity. And it proves to the other person that you are not just hearing, you are listening with the intention of doing something about this. When you listen to others, your partner, your colleagues, your friends, your parents, they will feel heard, that you've heard them, that you've respected them, that you've given them the room, the platform to air their views without any fear of repercussions or any intimidation. And when they feel that way, guess what will happen? It's a natural thing for the law of reciprocity to kick in. They will immediately want to pay you back. And guess what? Every time they pay back, it's always in good measure, more than what you've sown, because the harvest will always be bigger than the seed. When you listen to somebody, it is more than you trying to hear what they say. It is more than you planning in your head how you're going to answer or how you're going to rebuff their argument or their point of view. No, it will also help you if you actually listen carefully. It will help you to discover what the other person wants so that you can now use that to negotiate with them. Rather than coming with your 6 points and after the third minute you want to roll the first 3 bullet points out so that they can know that you've prepared. No. Sometimes just listening, paying attention, will give you the tools that you can use to negotiate and to discuss and bring solution to the table. So the art of listening, the skill to listen, is a way to influence people because it shows people that you are interested in them. And the proof of that is the type of questions that you ask. And it demonstrates that you have a genuine desire to serve and to increase your influence with such person. And guess what? You don't need to fast and pray. They will give it to you freely. Thirdly, learn to tell stories. Learn the skill of being a storyteller. See, the human being thinks in metaphors and will learn through stories. We think in pictures, not in words. If I say to you house, you don't see HOUSE. You don't see that. What you see is a picture of a structure with a door, 2 windows, and a roof. And that is the nature of human beings. We think in pictures, we think in metaphors, we learn more through stories. And unfortunately, for instance, many politicians don't know that. That just bypass their brains. That's just why they will come up on their campaign rally and say, vote for me because I will put more money into the schools. I will double the number of police on the street. I will increase your child care benefit and all of that. Those are great. Oh yes, they are wonderful. But you see, those are facts and logics. It does not move people to action. Normal human beings, we are very rational in our thinking. Logic don't move us. Statistics it's just another thing you've said. They don't move people. But if you really want to influence people, if you really want to move people to action, if you want people to change and link towards your viewpoint, don't give them facts and statistics only. They have their own place. Those things have their own place, but that is not the key. The key is to touch them emotionally. And the best way to touch people, to reach people, to connect with people emotionally is by telling them stories. Because stories paint pictures. Stories create emotions. And emotion leads people into action. For instance, which of these two do you think will move you to action? For example, somebody comes on the news and they say 620,000 people worldwide have died from COVID-19, so you should wear a mask. Which is true, which is great, which is excellent. Yes, many people have died from this COVID-19 or coronavirus or whatever coronavirus you want to call it. Many people have died. So one of the ways to prevent or to stop the spread is to wear a face mask. That is excellent. But you see, if I say that, which of these two do you think will move you? If I say that, or I said to you, or the newscaster says, a 3-month-old baby girl died yesterday from COVID-19. Her grieving parents have urged everybody to wear a mask so that they don't experience the grief and the pain that they are going through right now. Which of those two do you think will move you? The first one that tells you 620 people have died, so wear masks. Or the one that the woman says, our 3-month-old baby died because of coronavirus. I'm begging you, please, you don't want to experience what we are experiencing and what we've been through in the last 3 days or whatever. Please wear a mask. People will relate more to her story than the statistics that you rolled out. Why? Because the story touches humans' emotion. And once humans' emotion is tapped into, the next natural response is action. Be a storyteller. Because our compassion as human beings, our nobility, our enthusiasm, and our inspiration, they respond to stories because it touched our emotions. Number 4, be an authority. If you want to influence people, if you want people to be touched by you and by your life and by your impact and your effect, be an authority. I don't mean be authoritative and bark and shout at people, no. John Maxwell said leadership is nothing more and nothing less than influence. If you want to influence people, have the necessary, the required authority behind you. Why do you think, for instance, you're not feeling too well, and your friend in the office say, "Oh, I've got some drugs in the cupboard. You can take 2 of that. It should help you." You look at him and say, "Thanks, Jim." But you know in your heart of heart, you're not going to take that medicine. Not because you dislike Jim, not because Jim is not your friend or your colleague, but the first thing you're asking yourself, with what authority is Jim prescribing that medicine? But if Jim comes in a white coat with a stethoscope around his neck and is called Dr. Jim, even if he says to you, just open your mouth wide into the air and take in some fresh air, it will heal you. You will be the first one out of the door to do that. Why? Because you see Jim in his long white coat and the thing around his neck. You see him as an authority. Therefore, you are eager, you are ready, you are willing, you are committed to respond to him. So in order for you and I to really have influence, be an authority. Be an authority. Be seen, be perceived, be known as an authority in your area of expertise. For instance, you're driving down the motorway or even down the street, and this street says it's 30 miles an hour. So you're keeping to your 30 miles an hour. That's the speed limit. And the guy behind you is in a hurry. He wants to just drive by you, and because there's no chance for him on the other side, he's hooting after you and almost just in your boot. The 2 things you can do. You can increase your speed so that he too can go quick, or you can just maintain your speed and tell him, sorry, that's the speed limit on this road. But if that car behind you suddenly start flashing the blue light, and then the siren is going, guess what? You're going to pull over. You're going to run out of the way. You're going to move out for him. Why? Because you perceive him to have authority. And that authority is what he uses to influence your action. When people perceive that you have authority, they will comply with you. They will submit to you. They will respect your view. They will defer to your expertise. And that is what influence is all about. It was said that a study was done where in a real estate shop, or office rather, when people ring in to speak to any of the agents or any of the, say, letting or selling agent or whatever, it was discovered that when the receptionist said, "Oh, you want to speak to Jim? He's our all-time bestseller, and he sold this, and he did that, and he did that. I'll put you through to Jim now." When people listen to Jim after that initial introduction, people tend to believe, respect, and obey and defer to Jim, because the lady at the reception has just told them that Jim has authority in this area, and therefore listen to him. You want to influence people. You want your influence, your area of influence to grow and expand. Have some authority behind you. Have some meat on your bones. Have some weight behind you. Not by you bragging and puffing and all of that. No. But your achievement, your accomplishments, the battles that you have fought and won, the badge on your shoulder, will tell the people that you are dealing with, that you are relating to, that you have the authority. You want to influence people? You want your circle of influence to grow? Be likable. Don't be the main rattlesnake and the devil's incarnation himself. No. That will put people away from you. They might smile at your face, but behind you, they want to put a dagger between your shoulders. No, be likable. The real you is the best you. Be likable. Every human being wants to be around somebody who likes them. Like you do. Like I do. Nobody wants to hang around somebody that's always talking you down, don't respect you, don't value you, don't even think of you to be worthy of their presence or the air you breathe and the ground you walk on. Nobody wants to be around such people. But if you show yourself, the Bible said, if you want to be, or somebody said, if you want to have friends, show yourself friendly. Be like, if there's some people, you just warm up to them. You don't have to have known them. You don't have to have seen them. You just meet them for the very first time, and there is an air of likability about them that pulls you in and just fills you up, and you feel like, I just want to sit with you and be around you and just listen to what you have to say. If you really want to increase and enlarge your circle of influence, become more likable in the eyes of the people around you. And as you do it, don't do it deceptively. No, be genuine about it, because if you are fake, if you are just faking it and you are not real, people can see that from a mile away and they will despise you even more. Just be yourself and be good. Be likable. Engage in small talks. Engage in small talks. It shows people that you care. John Maxwell said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you engage, it's, oh, so how are you? So what do you do? Where do you live? How long have you been around this area? Suddenly, people open up to you. But if all you do is, hello, bye, hello, bye, that's all you're going to get back. Why do you think salespeople, especially car salesmen, they're just good at it? You come into their shop and say, oh, what a nice weather. Can I get you a cup of tea, water, this and that? All they're trying to do is to make you comfortable in their presence, to show you, I'm a likable person. When you get people to like you by being genuine in everything you do and that you are, your influence will take off like a rocket, and it will grow. It will grow. Is this helping somebody? Gosh, time. Another thing you can do to increase your circle of influence and enlarge your contact and the effect of your life and on other people, don't argue. Don't go into no. Don't argue. Rather, appeal to reasons. Appeal to reasons. Dale Carnegie said, the only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. The only way, the best way to influence people, to get people to like you, to get people to believe in you and respect you and defer to you and believe in you, is to help them find what they want and show them how to get it. You can't argue with that. Even in your life and in my life, if somebody genuinely comes alongside you to help you, to assist you, to guide you, to direct you, come on. As human beings, we definitely have the capacity to reason one with another. We don't have to argue and bicker and fight and all the carry-ons that we do. If you reason with people, I hear what you're saying and I respect the point you're making. I can see the logic behind what you're saying. Whatever you say after that, it doesn't matter, because to them you have not rubbished what they've said, or their viewpoints, or their feelings, or anything. Anything you say after that, they will receive it, because you have, in the first instance, reasoned with them. Really? Is that how you feel? I'm sorry that you feel that way. That wasn't my intention, you know. But have you considered this? Now, because you have reasoned with them, you have not judged them, you have not condemned them, you have not rubbished what they've said, guess what? Everything you say after that, they're going to lap it up. Appeal to people's reason. Why do you feel that way? Seriously, is that how you think? Or is that what you had in mind? I'm sorry that I misunderstood that. Appeal to reason. Another thing you can do is to do trade by barter. Trade what you have for what you want. And I don't mean by manipulation. That's not what I'm saying. Zig Ziglar said you can have everything in life that you want if you will just help other people get what they want. You can have everything in life that you want, that you desire, that you hope for, that you've been praying for. All you have to do is to help somebody else to get what they want. Nature has a way. When you reach out to help somebody, to make things work for somebody, nature will raise up an army from somewhere else to help you find your path in life. And so, if you want to influence people, learn to give before you take. You've heard the old saying, if you scratch my back, I will scratch yours. It's not just in a form of bribery. Sometimes it's a negotiation skill. Okay, if what you want is for me to give extra 2% on this deal, that's fine. I don't mind giving that, but you also need to push a little further in the number of weeks that you will give me for my credit terms. That is just life. But you see, we live in a world where everybody is consumed with what's in it for me. Yes, you can get what is in it for you, as long as you adopt the mentality of win-win. You don't have to win so that because I lose. I don't have to lose so that you can win. We can both win if we learn to trade. And when people see that you are open, you are the kind of person, you are the type of person that has room for everybody, they will defer to you. They will respect you. They will obey you. They will follow you. You will influence them in more ways than you can count. So to boost your influence, start accumulating favors. Do good to others. Help people to achieve their goals without asking for anything in return or upfront. Let them know that you genuinely care for them and you want the best for them, because a day is coming. Oh, you bet a day is coming when you are going to call in those chips. Those favors are going to come home to be a blessing to you. But if you choke life out of them now, on that day you will inherit nothing. I think I'm going to stop here for tonight. You want to increase your influence? You want to enlarge your circle of influence? Do these things. You see, success in life means getting what you want, at least most of the time. But the truth is this: nobody, no human being, not even the best and the most talented and the richest of all of us, can individually, by themselves, on their own, get everything they want. Because the way the world is wired is that we are we are intertwined, we're entangled together. For you to get what you want, I have to come along and help you. And in the process of helping you to get what you want, I am also getting what I'm looking for. Influence says you can have it all. You can have everything you want, everything you dream of, everything you desire, if only you convince others to see that your interest is exactly lined up with their interests. That your winning does not mean they are losing. That your benefit does not mean they are without. When everybody believes there is something in it for all of us, when there is the win-win mentality, the rest, like they say, is story. Go and influence somebody. Go and impact somebody. Go and help somebody become everything they desire, they wish, they want, they hope for. Because as you do that, you are not only influencing them, but you are actually also getting everything that you want, that you dream, that you hope and desire in life. Because that is how this life is designed to work. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I will see you again next week when we'll be looking at something different on becoming a better person. And remember, it is not a destination that we have reached. We are still on a journey. We are still on the process. We are still work in progress. But the good news is, for as long as we refuse to give up, for as long as we receive to cave in and pack it up and just throw up our hands and chuck in the towel and say, I'm out of here. For as long as we keep on keeping on, we will arrive. We will become. We will be referred to as a better man and a better woman. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.